Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. This is Jalasa Tarot. My name is Kimberly, and super thrilled for you guys to be here and very appreciative as well to allow me to read for you guys. So let's get straight into it. We are tapping into the energy, guys, your higher self today when we're talking about their hidden thoughts and feelings for you, whoever this person is to you, whether it runs deep or you're just kind of passing through and wondering what's going on with this person's thoughts and feelings in whatever circumstances, situation, connection you might find yourself in with this person. So if that sounds like your reading, we're going to get into a lot of details. We do have a different oracle for you guys to choose from today and a crystal, a mini crystal heart. But keep in mind, we are going to use a different tarot deck for each of the groups. And they're listed down below in the description, guys, if that helps you decide which group you want to go to. Also, I have all the oracle that we'll be using for today's readings in the description as well. Okay. So for those of you that want to stick around for the pile or group selection, let's get into it. So for group one, we have the finality card. And we have the amethyst mini heart, or the amethyst crystal hearts for your reading, group one. So the amethyst heart with the finality card, and it says farewells leave behind closure. So for group two, we have the exhaustion card. And we will be using the lapis lazuli mini heart crystal for your reading today. So the lapis lazuli with exhaustion, and it says depletion, drained, long journey. Okay. For group three, we have intuition. And we will be using the Dalmatian jasper mini heart crystal. Oopsie. As I hear a motorcycle in the back, or scooter. All right, so the Dalmatian jasper with intuition, and it says heart song, telepathy, and inner knowing. All right, guys. Feel free to pause if you need to, and don't forget that everything is listed down below in the description, including the timestamps. Forgive the lighting. It's super dark outside, guys. I feel like it's about to storm. And I'm feeling a vibe. Cloud Strife, my cat, he's just chilling by the window. Either way, it's early in the morning when I'm filming, but it's dark. So I have extra lighting, and I hope that's okay with you with the shadows. So, wow, that might mean something for today's reading, guys. But regardless, I love you. I will meet you at your group. Bye. Hello, group one. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the amethyst heart and or this finality card, for whatever reason, guys, we're going to see how it may or may not play in to the energy of what we're picking up on. But it does say farewells leave behind closure. So for some of you, it could imply a no contact situation where, for some of you, it could also be, and that could be different forms, a no contact. That could be recent, could be long term for some of you. But if that doesn't resonate, there is an energy of a fear that's coming through of whether or not this person is going to be someone that you could have consistently in your energy. I'm picking up on a couple of things, guys. I'm not going to lie. And I'm hearing an ambulance now and thunder. So let's see. Let's see what messages are going to come through, Spirit. Thank you so much for coming through, as always, for our collective. May we get the best messages for our Group 1's higher collective today, Spirit. Thank you. All right, guys. Group 1. I'm just going to say it. It's such a vibe in here. It's not too late, and it feels like it's late evening or early evening, and it's literally early afternoon. It's about to storm. Finality. All right, let's see. Their hidden thoughts and feelings. Whoever this person is, what do we need to see? What does our Group 1 need to see, Spirit, for this person? So we have the Devil in reverse, guys, coming through. Major Arcana. This is card number 15, Capricorn energy. We're using the Wild Reflections tarot, by the way. We have a King of Swords in reverse. We're getting a Four of Wands in reverse. Their hidden thoughts and feelings. What do we need to see? The Chariot in reverse. Now, the Chariot is card number 7. This is Cancer energy, Moon. And it's a Major Arcana. It's our second Major Arcana. There it is. 3 of Swords. Do we want it upright or reverse, Spirit? It's looking like it's in reverse, but I want to make sure because that could really... All right, let's do it one more time. Okay. So we're getting it in reverse officially. Let's see what else we need to see, Spirit. Their hidden thoughts and feelings for our Group 1. We have the 8 of Cups. Look at the imagery. The calm, the peace, the vibrant colors in the 8 of Cups energy. We have the 10 of Wands with the King of Swords in reverse, which kind of makes sense because I do feel like this person isn't really having good perspective maybe on this, on their emotions, their thoughts when it comes to you. We have the Emperor in reverse. Now, the Emperor is card number 4, Aries energy, with the 4 of Wands in reverse. Interesting. We have the Ace of Cups falling sideways, but we're taking it upright. Keep in mind, it is coming through with the Chariot in reverse. So let's get our final card. What do we need to see? Ooh, the Lovers in reverse. Gosh. Card number 6, Gemini energy. I was wondering if this is some sort of spiritual karmic. It could feel like a karmic connection, guys. It could feel where you ended things with someone. Now, for those of you that feel this might run a little deeper, I am seeing the Emperor, 4 of Wands, the Lovers, all 3 in reverse. This could mean a couple of things. It could represent that you might be looking at this person as a false type of false flame, if that makes sense. Like someone that you thought maybe may run deeper, but you're either not sure or you're moving on to see what else or who else is out there that could fit that role. Because I do feel in this energy, there's healing. We got the 3 of Swords in reverse. Guys, obviously, it goes back to finality. There must have been some sort of ending. This could feel like time has passed especially with healing energy coming through with the Three of Swords in reverse. That's why I wanted to double check that, because if it came up right, I wasn't sure if it was happening right now, if the heartbreak energy was in the present moment. So now, obviously, I'm picking up on your energy, guys, but today we're tapping in also to their hidden thoughts and feelings. So I do hope you're ready, because they may not be exactly what you want to hear. And again, if you are in a sensitive spot, which perhaps doesn't seem to be, just make sure you're ready for these messages, guys, because again, when we're tapping into energy of other people's energy, already that's not the best, thing that you should do if you're trying to heal, right? So for example, I remember being in a hyper focus when it came to tarot, and this is before I started my channel, like years ago. And a lot of it too was how I learned, but also just that addictive energy of wanting to know exactly what was going on with that person, sending so much energy their way. So I hope that's not the energy that you have. And again, if that is the energy that you are feeling, like a little too hyper focused, then you above all should not click away, because there's going to be some messages that you might need to hear, guys. So I feel like, to go back to you real quick, and I promise we're going to get to their hidden thoughts and feelings, but to go back to you, I feel like you're coming through with some of your own epiphanies. You might be realizing, this is not as deep, perhaps, as I might have been led to believe. It doesn't feel aligned. Okay, so let's tap into this person's hidden thoughts and feelings, because really that is why you're here. But I feel as though one of the things that's coming through is there may have been a tug and pull with the both of your energies. We have the Devil coming through in reverse. To me, that feels like someone releasing the shadow, someone releasing the pull. And this could be mirrored. We are getting the Lovers as well, but the pull, as far as that addictive energy, hyper focus that we just talked about, and that could be part of what you are releasing. Oh my God, it's starting to rain. It's like a soft rain. So that's the energy I'm picking up from you. For this person, the Devil in reverse is representing a couple of things. I do feel like you have crossed their mind. It's not that they're not thinking of you. I do believe that they're thinking about you, but it's more so that they are aware that you are moving on or have moved on. And honestly, guys, how they feel about it, they're accepting it. I feel like they too are facing their shadows and seeing this, like, look at this Eight of Cups just flourishing, but they're moving on, right? Eight of Cups, some readers will say it's walking away, but that's the Six of Swords, right? The Eight of Cups is more so like seeing what else is out there, exploring, expanding your horizons, maybe traveling down a different path. Either way, you're moving forward. You're moving on. And I feel as though this person sees that. There is a finality in a way with their thinking in that. The King of Swords is coming through in reverse. And I feel like this is the energy we're picking up on. And the Emperor in reverse. But for some reason, I feel with the Emperor, it's more so your perspective on this person, as opposed to where this person is coming from. Because more so I'm getting an energy, guys, that this person is in their ego, pretty stuck in their ego. They are heavily burdened, as now I'm hearing thunder. And here's the thing, the King of Swords in reverse feels a little, just going to say it, a little toxic, right? It's like someone that is overthinking, hyper focused, maybe vigilant, not knowing where to aim, not feeling confident or sure of themselves. Even a King of Swords could be showing their hand in some degree. And we're getting it with the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands to me represents a burden, overwhelm feeling. I'm looking at this farmer. It's reminded me of Illinois. I'm from Chicago, guys, and I live in the city, born and raised. But it's not the state of Chicago, as some people will claim they're from Chicago. They're not. They're from Illinois. But it's reminding me of the cornfields and out in Illinois. We're a very farm state, and we have a lot of cornfields. And if you imagine the vast amount of corn that you got to pluck and peel, kind of like farm workers, that they do this all day, sun. Doesn't matter if it's raining, right? If you got to plow the field in your own way, that takes time. That could feel like a lot to handle. So that's the imagery I'm getting, like a hard worker, but it's not fun. It's overwhelm. Like this person has no strategy involved in accomplishing a goal, i.e. you, if that's even what they are thinking about. Because honestly, I feel more so where they're just monitoring your glow up. Because you do seem to be glowing up, guys. Because I'm picking up on your energy very strongly in this reading. So, one of the things that I picked up on is the feeling that perhaps you might be of a mind that this person might be more of a karmic, someone that you're learning a lesson from, someone that you need to move on from, like legit. For those of you that resonate with that, the reason I say that is a lot of what this person's thoughts and feelings are directed towards you, they're misaligned. You and this person are not aligning. You're not on the same page. It's the energy of someone not matching someone else's divine energy. It's kind of a little bit of a mismatch. Plus, there's no forward movement. If we're talking about the Chariot in reverse, not knowing where to aim, not knowing which direction to go into, which kind of the King of Swords is giving, but it's toward the Ace of Cups, that new beginning, that love offer. Look at that pearl inside the shell. I keep thinking it's a mirror, like a compact, but to go back to mirrored energy, if this was a twin flame, this is a point in the journey then that you are starting to wake up and see this person as not a divine. You're realizing who they truly are, which is not anywhere near where you are in your own alignment. So I will say that to my divines that are coming through for this reading, which I'm not sure why you're here. But for those of you that resonate with the energy of whether this is a karmic or a true divine, either way, this person is not moving in your direction. This person is stuck in their ego. They're stressed. If this is a runner chaser energy, they've run. And they're not, if we're looking at it from that perspective, they're not trying to go inward. So then that leaves them with the type of thoughts and feelings that an Emperor in reverse, like someone that isn't going to feel stable. They are not feeling stable. They're not feeling consistent. They're not feeling aligned. So a lot of their hidden thoughts and feelings, whatever it is that they're representing to the world, to you, so whatever it is that they're representing online, it is nothing. What's really going on, their hidden thoughts and feelings is like the complete opposite. They're not in their sovereign energy. They're not feeling balanced. They're feeling all over the place. They're in their ego. I want to see more about this Devil in reverse. And just to remind you, this is the Four of Pentacles, and we got the Sun in reverse. Seven of Swords after that. This person could be wearing a mask. This person, and the funny thing is, I don't think they're completely, well, let's see before I say that. The double in reverse, because I don't feel like this person's energy is completely focused on you. Sorry, I went blank. I was trying to figure out how to say it. I think you do cross their mind, but they are feeling pretty, I don't know. I'm getting an energy of numbness for them. So let's see what this devil, are they focused on you or not? And for you, does it matter, right? We got strength, Leo energy, card number 8. And then we're getting justice. And I wasn't sure if it's upright or reverse, but we're going to just look at it upright. Does this person want justice, strength? Now, even like the 8 of Cups and the imagery and the feeling I'm getting is them watching you move on. With your back toward them, but look at that, guys. Gosh. 9 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, that independent energy coming through as we're talking about this. But you see this person's back. Now, whether that represents them or you or the connection itself, you're here for the finality group for a reason, right? And we're getting the 8 of Cups. And look at the difference of imagery. And I feel as though that's the mismatch, guys. That's the mismatch. Whether this is a potential divine counterpart, or this is a karmic that you need to just move on from. I feel as though, regardless, this kind of is reflective of where you are and where you should be. Their hidden thoughts and feelings for you is they think you're moving on. And the thing is, they're not doing anything about it, and they're not going inward. They're not really feeling reflective. They're not really making a decision. They're just kind of floating. So I wanted to get one more for justice and strength, because if anything, I feel like that's how they're looking and viewing you, that you're creating justice in your own life. You're building that strength within because you needed it in order to really move on. And maybe they don't feel your energy, which is why we're getting so much blocked energy. Again, whether this is a karmic or something that runs a little deeper. Let's get one more. Six of Swords. Okay. This is the walking away energy I was talking about, guys. And here it is with the 8 of Cups. This could represent both. Again, this could be mirrored, especially with with my mirror, my pocket mirror, i.e. a shell with a pearl in it. But it's almost like every time you look at yourself, you're seeing that pearl within. We're getting 10 of Swords in reverse. Wow. 4 of Cups after that. Guys, I honestly feel that you're healing. You're healing something. And if you're here to figure out what their hidden thoughts and feelings of you, it's not going to help you on the path that you're already on. Yes, they notice that you're glowing up. How do they feel about it? We're going to look at the oracle and see what else comes through. But right now, it's almost as though the King of Swords in reverse with the 10 of Wands, it doesn't feel good. Their thoughts and feelings, more so that they're keeping themselves from healing. And here's the thing, I don't think they're feeling heartbroken. So they could be in a 4 of Cups type of energy too. All right, let's move forward, guys. And chasing at the bottom of the deck, which is not a good energy, right? And even like, and gosh, the more I go in my channel, whatever that means, what am I trying to say? The more I grow my channel, and I'm so grateful, and I know I'm here to help, especially help the divines and help the journey. And yeah, we're tapping into specific people's energy. But above all, the goal is always to figure out what it is that you need to do to help yourself as opposed to focusing on this person, right? So I'm hoping that regardless of what comes through from this person's thoughts and feelings, that you yourself will continue your healing journey in this finality, guys, is what I'm trying to say. So let's get into the oracle. We got a long journey, and the rain is at a steady, strong pace. So let's get into it. Their hidden thoughts and feelings. What else do we need to see? Second chance. Now, again, their hidden thoughts and feelings, that could be something that's hidden, but it could also represent something that's hidden for them. They're not trying to see it right now only because of their overwhelming feeling, which is why they probably walked away in the first place, guys. If they're the ones that ended this, distracted, definitely think they could be distracting themselves. Foundation, whether it's with work. Oh my God, look at that. The train tracks. That means something, guys. Trains, walking down a path with your back toward everything else, building something new. Clarity. That could be what they're in search for. Okay, let's get our last card. Distance. The blue. Escaping, another person walking away. And I'm noticing this person's back toward us, distracted. Guys, this is the imagery. Focus on the imagery. Spirit comes through in images all the time, which is why I love tarot. Their hidden thoughts and feelings for you are blocked. It's still blocked energy. Their back is still turned towards you. You do cross their mind, but when you cross their mind, if they snoop on you, for example, just because of their own curiosity, just like you're coming through in this reading, guys, this person could also have that same pull sometimes to check in. So if they do that, I feel as though they're seeing you glow up, they're seeing you move on. And if that is legit, then I'm proud of you. But let's get back to this person. It's not doing anyone any favors to hold on, because this person is not, they're not seeing clear yet. I feel like they want to. I feel like they are trying to figure things out. If they are investigating you and looking at old pictures and looking at things, it's not helping them move forward. You know, we are getting that they are feeling the distance. And maybe that's why they're out of whack, guys. It's affecting them more so than them kind of honoring their thoughts and feelings about you. It's more so affecting their nervous system. And I don't know if they know how to stabilize that. For them, stabilizing their nervous system could be running away, distractions, however that might look. Trying to figure out calm. You know, it's like this person is sitting at the shoreline. The waves are crashing on the shore. But beyond the crashing wave is the smoothness of the water, the calm. So whatever it is that's distracting them is helping them stay calm. Even like the 10 of Wands. This is the calmest 10 of Wands I've ever seen. Lollygagging in the middle of a cornfield. Saying he's from Chicago. I'm kidding. If you're from the suburbs from Chicago, I love you guys. Just don't say you're from Chicago to an actual Chicagoan. But anyway, I digress. But look at how calm he is. It's almost like he's walking through the park, right? I wouldn't expect this imagery from a 10 of Wands. But there it is. So whatever the distraction is, it's making this person numb. It's making this person kind of turn their back, not only on you, but maybe other things, maybe their foundation, maybe things that they need to secure in order to establish stability. Their divine masculinity isn't really divine. So I feel like they're going through a lot. Now, if second chance is crossing their mind, like I said, guys, they're moving in the opposite direction. They're escaping rejection coming in after, and then we got return. You know, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know why that's coming through all of a sudden. But the feeling of focusing on this person, for example, when it comes to your energy collective, then it's almost like this is why this is happening, especially if you guys are a soul connection. And if that's the case, and you're coming through in a tarot reading about this person, then it could be at the beginning stages of your journey. And that's okay. I love you. Welcome. I'm here. But eventually, when you get to the point where you are at full consciousness, awakening, going through your ascensions, you're not going to need to go to tarot to figure it out, right? So for you, I could already feel that, yes, you're healing, but you're still being tugged toward this person. And I feel as though it's to go back to this person's energy. The more that happens, the more they distract, the more they run away. It's almost like a roll of a dice, too. Like the odds are not in your favor. I'm hearing Katniss, the Hunger Games. Okay, so let's move forward. And again, checking in with you guys. I hope you're okay. You know, sometimes the purpose of some of these readings are to give tough love and to make sure that you walk away not feeling temporary satisfied because this person is thinking about you, but more so long-term success because you're moving on and you're choosing yourself. Like that's always the goal, right? And then if this person is meant for you, but at this current energy, guys, it's not the time. It's not looking like it is. This feels like a finality. So we have affairs coming through. Their hidden thoughts and feelings. Sunset. That farming imagery I'm getting with the windmill. Says lost loved ones, memories, which is interesting energy to pick up on. Now we're getting ascending. That could be a confirmation that this is the journey. And for those of you that are wondering, like, is this a karmic? How do I know? It's if you're not awakening, if you're not going through some sort of spiritual activation, then I'm sorry, it is not your divine counterpart. And even if it is your divine counterpart, it doesn't matter. They're not coming through with divine energy. So they're not your divine right now at all. Okay? So let's see. All right. We are also getting home. Their hidden thoughts and feelings. I feel like this person, unfinished business. I feel like this person is on the go. However it is that they're distracting themselves. It could be putting in effort, hard work in whatever it is that they do for a living, their hobbies, whatever it is that they are, that is kind of tedious, mundane, where they don't have to think. They just need to focus on the current, being almost like they feel like they're being conscious, but they're ignoring. There's a difference, right? With disassociating and compartmentalizing stuff and going through an ascension. It's quite different. So whatever it is that this person is doing, it's holding them back. There's unfinished business in their own healing as well. Look at the roll of the dice, guys. Look at that. The imagery. Again, the focus on imagery for this reading, guys. Well, for every reading, to be honest. But especially when spirit makes a lot of those synchronicities, it's like pay attention. You might be looking at synchronicities in your real life. On top, the top of the dice is 7, and top of the dice, I don't know what the top of the dice is for this top one. This one, the ones that we're looking at, we got 3, we got 5, 35, 8, 4, 8, 2, 3, 1. Look at the 3 5s on the side. That's weird. There's no 2. See, that's how you know, like, is that for real? Because there's 2 5s. I'm a gambler, guys. That's a fake die. See? It's like misleading. Wow. And for some reason, I went into Rain Man with that, was looking at all the dice. And trust me, I am not Rain Man when it comes to gambling. So with the rain pouring, do you guys hear the rain? Is it raining in this imagery? I've never felt that before, but I'm feeling it right now. That might mean something. Rain. We're getting a lot of synchronicities. Let me know in the comments. All right. For some reason, I'm shuffling. I want one more. Pets. Something about pets. Being at home. This person, you know, maybe that is when you cross their mind. Addiction coming in at the bottom of the deck. That could remind me a little bit of the distraction. Not that they are addicted to any substance abuse. And again, that might be, but don't over analyze addiction for this person. If you know, you know, guys. The addiction is a big deal, and I don't take that lightly. I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Especially because I've dealt with someone with a legit drug addiction, and it was traumatizing to be a loved one of a person that's going through an addiction. But also, okay, let's not even go down that rabbit hole. But the point is, whenever I see this card coming through, I go with my gut feeling when I see this imagery, and I know that spirit taps me in because spirit knows what I've been through when it comes to this energy. So the reason why I'm going in on it is addiction might not be legit for this person, but it doesn't mean that they're not doing things that are toxic, is my point, okay? Now, they are busy. Like I said, I feel like there's some unfinished business, but they don't think about you, I think, unless they are still at home and having a moment, having a chance to think about you. Okay? Because they're not focused. And they're doing that on purpose. They're distracting themselves on purpose. So that could tell you something too. You know, if they're distracting themselves on purpose, they might be running away from some emotions that they're not ready to face. So if we're talking about their hidden thoughts and feelings, and for some of you, this could be a potential, you know, counterpart with the energy we're getting from the tarot, or it could be a false counterpart. Again, use your discernment, and if you know, you know. But the thing that I'm just trying to impress upon you guys, especially because of the energy I'm picking up from you, because your energy came in so strong of you're in a point where you're healing, and I don't want you to derail your own journey by focusing on what's going on with this person, especially if this is a divine or not. It doesn't matter. You know, you're on your own journey. Okay. Sorry, I had to say that. It's coming out right now, guys. For whatever reason, it's raining. Okay. But I do feel as though there's a lot of loss that this person is running away from. It is feeling where this, what they could be shoving down. And again, we have a couple more oracles. So we could maybe get those details of what they're trying to push down, what they are running from, emotionally, that is. And I could only imagine. I could only imagine if they are literally they're doing a good job distracting themselves. But are they happy? Absolutely not, guys. It's overwhelming. But again, they're numbing themselves. All right, I'm repeating myself. But I think the reason why is because I want to see if we could pick up on what emotion we could see if we need to, Spirit. The ocean, okay? It runs deep. This is our Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. So they are full of an emotional uproar. The vast ocean. It's like there's more water on this planet than anything else. There's more water in our bodies than anything else. Think about the emotions that is pouring in. No wonder this person is running, especially if they've never been vulnerable to this. Are they going inward? I'm going to be honest. I don't think they're there yet. You are a lot more further along than them. Although I do believe that for those of you that resonate with the divine journey, that this is just the beginning, guys. And if you want to expedite this, then focus on your own ascension, right? But all right, let's see what else. The one, they may feel it. I'm not gonna lie. This is what you're here for, and I'm gonna be honest. They may, but again, at the same token, this is why they're running. This is why they're distracting themselves. This is why they are escaping with finality. Like they're on a sojourn. They got their backpack. They got their Stanley. They're on the move. And maybe that's where you should be, especially if that's how they're viewing you. Might as well be authentic in that if that's not authentic right now. But I feel like it is, though. I feel like you're there. You're getting there. You just have to like embrace and trust. That's the hard part. Trust, right? And what I mean by that is like trust that, wow, the heart. Trust that everything is going to be okay, that spirit has your back. You have your back. Your higher self has your back. Like you're not going to sit in stuck energy or trapped energy and watch this person, you know, for the rest of your life, waiting for this person to actually share their thoughts and feelings with you. You know, that's not the plan, right? That's not the journey. That's not where you're going to row your boat toward. So I feel as though something about, so now let's talk about them, guys, okay? Because I have to make sure that I touch base with you too, because again, if you're going through the hard part, if this is like something that you're teetering on, that addictive energy, it's like, what happened, right? Like you felt so strong and then poof, this person ran. And a lot of that could have to do with they're not even understanding what these emotions are. We got the heart, the one, the ocean. Guys, I can't even express the details spirit is coming through. Like the minuscule details spirit is showing up with in your reading. It's very synchronized. Their heart space, their heart chakra is opening. But because of that, and that could attest to how you're affecting them. You're affecting them in the heart space. But there is a bird's nest surrounding that. Let me put this down. Alethea at the bottom of the deck. Look at the yin yang with the roses. But look at the bird's nest surrounding this heart space, right? Like it's like where this person is keeping their boundary. And like I mentioned about like what they may be presenting to the world, like this person, you might have seen them in the best sort of way, right? If they were coming through as someone that was strong and motivated and a hard worker, like all the good qualities that you could say from an emperor, a king of swords, like that's strong energy. That's attractive. Yet, was it real? Were they feeling that? Because deep down, what's hidden and why they ran is they're not there, guys. Because how could you be the emperor if you're not even able to have emotional strength or emotional control over your own emotions? Like someone that is not willing to go inward and to understand emotions, that's a lot of trauma to heal. So that could be what is being activated, but it's up to them whether or not they're going to learn and grow and heal. Because you are activating, especially if this is a divine type of path. And again, at this point, it would resonate, right? For those of you that, is it a karmic? You're never going to know until you completely shut it off and move on. If they were meant for you, if they do the work, if they figure it out, they will be back because that means that you've done the work. You figured it out. It's mirrored. So if you're still getting triggered by this person or this energy, the question is why? And then reflect on why we're picking up on this energy. This person's heart is closed, but it's activated. They have a sense, even like the one, it feels like that bird's nest. Even the ocean, it's like following this person. It's like everywhere they go, every situation. And they're falling deeper and deeper. They could also feel where they're taking a lot of risks. They may be experimenting on an emotional level with their karmics, with things that are happening in their own reality right now, regardless of whether or not you guys are at a distance, which obviously I think you guys are. I feel as though in the meantime, this person it's like they're getting tested in their own life. And they could be running. They could be distracting. So it might not have everything to do with you. It could just be where they are at. And that's what's frustrating, right? So are they going to move and face themselves and face the right direction? Whether that's with you or toward you or not, it's this person's journey, right? If you're wondering about it. And I feel as though they have it in them. But are they taking that step yet? I feel like if anything, it's a thought in their mind. But that's as far as it goes. It's like in passing too. All right, I want to give this one quick shuffle before we look at the crow wisdom, which is the last messages we're going to get for you guys today with advice. And it's tough love, I feel like, the crow wisdom. It's a new deck. But we're going to look at cosmic insights first. Anything else that wants to show spirit with this person's energy, with thoughts and feelings. But I think we already kind of figured it out, guys, where they are and where you should be after you click off. And it's like, it's so funny because I remember being in that energy. I hope you're not in that energy, but some of you might relate where you could easily fall back into it if you're not farther along in the path. And I think right now you're at a precipice, a moment in your journey where you really gotta take it one step at a time. Because you could fall back into that addictive energy if you don't catch yourself. And just even something like watching tarot, like to go back to tarot. And it's like, yes, I think it's important, to be a tarot reader. The craft is beautiful, guys. I was introduced to it in high school. I remember. Anyway, that's another story for another day. But the point is, it is the energy of helping, going inward, reflecting, not predicting what's going to happen, holding on to outcome. And that's not what I'm trying to teach on my channel at all. So if this is like triggering, I hope you clicked off. And if someone leaves like one of those disparaging messages about like, I don't know, it's like they just can't handle it, right? And most likely that's not their twin because they're not awakening. So if you're still here listening to me rant about it, then guys, I promise you, the journey doesn't have to be as long as you make it. You just gotta let go. Maybe distract yourself with healthy hobbies or a purpose or something that lifts you up. But let's look at one more, which already like going into advice, intimacy. Again, those deep emotions, intimacy, that could scare the living daylight. Oh my God, you will never believe, guys, gambling. You can't make it up with the synchronicity. Spirit, that is, maybe they're gambling, guys. They could be literally gambling. I'm hearing yelling outside in the rain. Maybe they gambled and left their umbrella at home. All right, they'll be back. Again, another indicator. And I don't want you to focus on that. That's the thing, right? Because that's not going to help. Caution. There it is. I think this is kind of messages for both. Yes. If this is a yes, guys, then don't worry about it, right? Then you don't have to hold on. If it's a yes, then let go and trust that it's going to happen in the best timing. But right now, it just feels like it's not the right time. And that could be so difficult to hear and triggering, right? Even if you're here this long and understand, I get it. I was there, guys. I was there. And it was a long time ago. I haven't felt that energy in a long time, that addictive, that pull. And it's okay, right? To just let it go and move on. And again, that doesn't mean you have to like move on with someone else. Maybe if you want, if that's where you're led intuitively. But again, it just means like to focus on yourself, focus on your ascension. Group 1. I don't know why. I'm always lately, and I don't want to say this because then I'm not going to say it. But I'm noticing some sort of pattern with my group 1s lately. I don't know if Spirit's doing that. And again, maybe Spirit is showing me a synchronicity. All right, let's see. Spirit, how are we going to end this? What advice? We've been giving advice this whole time because I care about you guys. And honestly, I just want you to be at peace and enjoy the journey. The journey doesn't have to be that hard. It's actually pretty amazing. It's actually a life changer, a game changer, a universe changer. I don't know how to explain it, but if you're going down an awakening path, yes, it's not easy. There's a lot of challenges, but as you ascend, it gets easier, easier, easier until you just feel so at peace. And it's magical, guys. I can't explain it. And everything shifts around you, your job, your career, your hobbies, your friendships get stronger, your relationships, everything gets aligned. And as you awaken, and it's easier to feel it and to go through it than to explain it. So if you're going through it and you're starting to get glimpses, keep going. And for those of you that have no idea what that even feels like, and you're like wondering, and you're just going from one tarot reading to the next, obsessed with this person's energy right now, this might be a karmic you need to release, guys. So please make sure that you use discernment when it comes to your energy. Check in with yourself, Okay. So, gosh, I need my readers. I don't have readers, but I think I need like something. But it could also be the lighting. Okay. It says Guardian of the Threshold. Guardian of the Threshold. I'm going to read it over here, guys, with better lighting. You stand at a point of no return. Sorry, I can't see. You stand at a point of no return. Maybe that's all Spirit wants me to read right now. Because as soon as I try to start reading the rest of it, my eyes go blurry. And I'm starting to realize maybe that's a thing. So we're gonna go with that. All right, Guardian of the Threshold. You stand at a point of no return. You might be at a crossroads yourself with this. This could be the tough love. Maybe this is the tarot reading that kind of nailed it in the coffin. Like, you know what? I need to move on. I'm going to do something else. Switch up your energy. Again, walk through a door. If you're standing at the threshold, go through it. Open up a new door. Walk through something. Start a new hobby if you're bored, right? Honk in the background. It could be anything. And again, if you're going down a divine journey, you have a purpose. There is something more important and valuable that you are here for. So start honing in on your own like gifts and your own energy as you are traveling and going through an awakening. All right, counsel the trees. Is that what it says? Goodness, guys. What a way to introduce the Crow Tarot. Counsel in the trees. Okay. Counsel in the trees. Look at it has 3 crows and what looks like a castle. Dude, I'm getting like 3 of swords and a tower. Counsel in the trees. We had so many synchronicities in your reading, guys. And I feel like this is a message that there's signs all around you. Even whether you need signs or not, if you're in the energy right now of needing signs and synchronicities, if there's more energy or synchronicities going on that I didn't even mention, let me know in the comments. That would be interesting too. But I feel like that is something that Spirit says, yes, but what's the counsel in the signs? Maybe to trust, to let go. Because there's going to come a point where you don't even need the signs. Spirit may stop showing you signs just so that you could start trusting your own self, It's a whole thing. Spirit works in mysterious ways, but always to our higher divine beings, right? And we just have to accept that the journey is a wild ride. All right. Only omen reader, which is funny because I was mentioning I need my readers and now we're getting the omen reader. Gosh, that sounds so dark though. Now that now that it's clicking. But nonetheless, the omen reader. Red flags is what I'm getting. Spirit might be coming in a very dramatic way to say, you are tapping into your own intuition. Being able to feel omens, that is a psychic energy. And again, those of you that are going through an ascension, a spiritual awakening, you're going to get gifts, psychic gifts. There's no way to bypass that. Especially the farther you go into your consciousness, to your soul, right? The more you wake up. So the journey is just beginning. So maybe one of the things that Spirit is already kind of giving you is that those feelings, those nudges of when something doesn't feel aligned. That is the awareness that a lot of people in this world do not have or choose to ignore. But if you're part of that 15%, and if you are going down a divine journey that, 1%, 5%, I don't know, it's growing. It's growing in this era, is what I am hearing, right? But it's like either way, guys, don't ignore the signs. I'm really going deep into that. Okay, bottom of the deck, let me see, is the weight of words. Goodness. The weight of words. Replaying words, I'm also hearing like if you are thinking about communicating or moving toward this person, that's a chasing energy, right? If you start initiating contact with this person, knowing that this person might come back in, but if they're not ready and they're still in this like whirlwind of this figuring out what it means to feel, it's like they're not going to be ready for you. And you're not ready either, right? So I don't know, that came through too. So I think if anything, the message is pay attention to when something feels aligned or not. If it feels aligned, you'll know. And if it doesn't, your body will let you know. I mean, that's the first sign. You could feel it in your body, the misalignment. People could ignore that for years. I always bring up my old karmic relationship, for years. For years, I was so misaligned. We were misaligned. The connection was misaligned, but I myself was misaligned. I lost myself, right? And it was hyper focused on making sure that person was happy. Everything was surrounding that person in my energy. And that was such a hard cycle to wake up to, or a hard energy to wake up to. And even after I broke up with this part, we broke up and time has passed, I still fell into that energy. Wow, it just turned so dark outside. How interesting, right? Like it wasn't over. The chasing energy was still there, and I never tuned into me. And that's what an awakening will do. You will just tap in, right? And it will just be deeper, deeper, more obvious, and you'll release ego. So, with that, goodness, it's feeling like the apocalypse. It's like the imagery in The Crow, too, guys. If I turned off the lights, it would literally look pitch dark in this room. And I think it's like around noon. It's around noon, guys. All right. So this was a long reading, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. What's the clock say? I think it was pretty long, guys. So maybe this was needed. And if it was, and you're still here, I love you. Take a break from tarot. Take a break from thinking about this person. Release it. And I hopefully will see you at the next one, only if you feel you need it. But again, it's better to take a break. That's my honesty. Okay? So, make me proud. Love you guys. Bye. Hi, Group 2, and welcome to your reading today. If you chose the Lapis Lazuli Mini Crystal Heart and or the Exhaustion card, then welcome. And what does this say? So it says, depletion, drained, and long journey. So today we're talking about their hidden thoughts and feelings for you, and we'll see how this ties in. It could have felt or it could feel like an exhausting journey with this person or without this person, however it may go. So we're using the AstroMatrix tarot deck. It's one of my OGs. And we're going to look at the details, guys, starting with our tarot, with thoughts and feelings that they may not have shared with you, regardless if you are in a no contact or if you're in a relationship, a connection currently. We're going to see what collective comes through for this reading today. So Spirit, thank you so much for coming through. May we get the best messages for our group Choose Higher Self today, Spirit, when it comes to this person. Okay. FYI, I'm filming the next day for you, group 2. I started yesterday and it was rainy and stormy, and group 1 went, it was a long road, so I decided to take a break. And I didn't even put my rings on for group 1. It was an interesting energy. So I wanted to wait a day to clear up the energy. And so let's see. There are hidden thoughts and feelings for you, this person. Whoa, Ace of Wands. Way to clear up some energy, huh? Okay, so we have the Three of Swords in reverse. What are their hidden thoughts and feelings for you? We're getting the Nine of Cups. Another ace, Ace of Swords, guys. Their hidden thoughts and feelings for you. Knight of Pentacles. Okay. This is interesting. Let's take a look at the rest of our cards, guys, before we start going in. We got a Page of Pentacles. So we have a Knight and a Page of Pentacles, 2 aces. We got the Five of Wands with the Three of Swords. Those are the only 2 cards in reverse so far. What else do we need to see? Their hidden thoughts and feelings. Oh my goodness, how interesting. So we got the Nine of Cups, and then we got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Almost like a mirrored effect with the nines. Ooh. Queen of Wands is coming through, but doesn't want to completely come out. So we got another Knight, a Knight of Wands in reverse. And the Eight of Wands. Okay. King of Pentacles in reverse, guys, with the Seven of Wands. So I'm okay. Where do I begin? I think in a nutshell, this is a positive indicator that this person does have feelings and emotions for you. They are thinking about you. I feel as though they've gone through some healing, and they may have gone through it, guys. One of the things that they are not completely in their sovereign energy with is with their pentacles. I feel like something about their pentacles is off balance. So let's start there. You know, we're talking about hidden thoughts and feelings. And we're getting the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, but we got it with the Nine of Cups, which I think is super interesting. The surrounding energy of Knight of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and then we got the King of Pentacles in reverse. That is an indicator. I am getting the strong message that this person might not be financially sound. They may not have reached their goal. I feel like this person could be very goal-oriented. And something is currently going on in their life that they are striving for, that has to do with pentacles, that has to do with business, profession, success, money, something in that department, okay? But when it comes to you, I still feel like they're being driven forward, regardless if they are completely reach the pit, gosh, that word, it starts with a P. It'll come. But have they reached have they reached their endpoint? I feel like the answer is no. And that could be where the exhaustion is. They could be really working towards something. And they could have fallen into an exhaustion of some sorts. That could be your energy as well. But I think if this person was and could still be focused on whatever it is that's going on, I feel like it's starting to lighten up, though. I will say that. Something about the trajectory of where they are headed in their goals, in their life path, is stronger. It's starting to look stronger, more secure. This person is starting to feel a little bit better about things when it comes to their life, when it comes to their independence, their fulfillment. But they may still have boundaries up. Like even looking at this Nine of Cups, how this person has their arms folded, the coat on top of her shoulders, sitting there, legs crossed at the ankles. It does seem to be a little bit of blocked energy, or am I feeling blocked energy? No, I'm not. I'm feeling it's and this could be them looking at things in a very stern perspective, honk in the background, like they're really focused on something important that's going on in their world. So that could be like them just being serious about something, taking things seriously. Even like the coat, it looks so professional, so business, even though we're on a theater stage. And then we got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which goes back to the message of this person is not 100% feeling solid in their independence. Now, the reason I'm going in on explaining all of this is that is something that is floating in the background as this person is moving towards you. Okay? So keep that in mind. I do believe that with Three of Swords in the reverse, now this could be an indicator that you and this person have gone through some sort of healing or end at one point. But I'm not really picking up on that, guys. And maybe that is the case, but honestly, if we're focusing on this person's hidden feelings, thoughts, a lot of it has to do with what they are releasing. I feel like this person is in a good space, in a good mental space, even if they're still working on some sort of goal. With the Five of Wands, I allocate this card to like that competitive vibe, comparing oneself to another. This person could have fallen into the comparison trap, which is really difficult, right? Comparing yourself to someone else. When really you have to think about how unique and special you are individually as an individual. So I feel like that's what this person's working on, their individuality. They're not comparing themselves to, maybe even comparing themselves to where they should be in life. You know, I should be here at this time of at this stage in my life. That type of feeling is coming through very strong. But they're healing that, guys. They're moving through it. They've moved through it, to be honest. Because if they're willing to move forward, now, is it with King? You know, again, they may not be completely ready to provide stability or offer that type of commitment stability, but that doesn't mean they don't have it in them. They could be pacing this. You know, it seems to me like they have their boundaries up. Not that they're blocked, but more so that they are stern. They're looking at this whole situation in a very stern, serious way, but it's also making them feel good inside, you know, the Nine of Cups. It's like they may not even want to admit it to themselves. If this is the type of person that's been so focused on like one-tracked mind on areas of their life, their business, whatever that might be, right? Little did they know that someone or something romantic was going to come around and shake things up a little bit. So let's talk about that, because we have a lot of forward movement, but I want to talk about the aces first. You know, it's not every day we get two aces on the table, and it led with Ace of Wands. There's passion. That goes without saying. I feel like this person more so is, they're the type of person that doesn't lead with passion, guys. They're more of the person that wants to be stable and offer that, you know, that sovereign energy of masculine energy. Whether they're male or female, that's the sense that I'm getting from this person, okay? So for them to come through with Ace of Wands, which is super align. It's like when you're aligned with moving forward, offering something. This could represent a new beginning. This could represent a new start, but also just looking at the representation of Ace of Wands, you can't avoid the passion. And it's a little off to the distance. You see a city landscape, you see, so there might be a little bit of distance as this person is moving toward you. But there seems to be movement, guys. We're also getting the Ace of Swords, which is feeling like clarity, a strong representation that this person has learned a couple of lessons. So let's talk about that. One of the lessons that they may have learned is juggling more than one option. Maybe they left their options open. Maybe they weren't really taking things seriously as far as offering commitment or building a relationship or a foundation with someone. I think they weren't in that phase, right? If they were focused on other things in their life, building their Nine of Pentacles, how in the world would they feel comfortable building a Ten of Pentacles with someone, right? If they're not there yet. So I think part of this person's like demeanor, maybe, especially if you guys have history, which seems to be, whether that's the case or not, actually, because this could just be what this person's bringing to the mix, which you might not even be aware of, especially if this is a new person, guys. So keep that in mind. But the Knight of Wands, has that player tendency, those player ways, not necessarily that they're being a player in that type of, consciously misleading people. I don't think they're being malicious in that energy or were malicious. It's the feeling, though, that they just weren't locking in with anyone. They may have unintentionally played with people's emotions without realizing it. But guess what? They realize it now. All of this is coming into some sort of clarification. It's almost as though the sea is parting and they are seeing things for the very first time very clear. And it's also the imagery I'm getting of, just because I'm looking at the aces with the water, and then it just looks like something is parting in order to allow something to move forward. I'm thinking of Moses. Oh my goodness. And again, not to get religious, this is a spiritual channel, but I was raised Catholic. My parents, totally random, guys. I don't know why I'm being called to say this, but my parents were both different religions. And luckily, I was kind of introduced to multiple religions growing up. But I did identify with Catholicism because of, but okay, let me digress. But I used to watch the movie with Moses. I used to love that movie as a kid. Don't ask why. I just loved it. It's old school, where the 10 Commandments, is that what it's called? But now, why am I bringing that up? Let's bring it back. I lost the plot, I think. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. But with the aces, it's almost as though, like when Moses parted the sea and they were able to allow the people to come in and to finally get home. I feel like that's something is allowing this person to move in your direction. Okay, and I know I said this long story about Moses, but that's kind of the feeling. This person got so much clarity on something that it gave this person the power to see the path. The power to see the path, regardless of where this person might be as far as exhaustion or what they're trying to build on their own. They're still moving forward. And I feel at this point, they're now deciding to move forward in a romantic way when it comes to you guys. I mean, you cannot deny that. And let's take a look at that energy. So we landed at our last card, aside from the bottom of the deck that we take a look at usually, is the Eight of Wands. Now, for those of you that may not know, the Eight of Wands is pretty much the fastest movement. It's like the action card of someone taking swift action. Wands could also feel very fast paced as well because wands could represent days, hours in tarot, days. So I feel like you and this person might be talking already or communicating or in some sort of connection legit, or this is heading towards you soon. So, but let's take a look at how they're coming in. I do believe that they're not leading with passion. We already talked about that, even though there are hidden feelings, there are hidden thoughts. It's passion, guys. There, something about your energy is driving them into this spark of like this zap. And I wonder if it's an intuitive zap that they felt or if it's something more grounded, you know, because Ace of Swords could have to do with mind space and then wands could have to do with passion, right? Fire energy. So maybe it wasn't intuitively, but that they are realizing. But the way that they're coming in is Knight and Page of Pentacles. But let me remind you, they're not in their king, or they're not there yet. So this might be where the slowdown is, because even though Eight of Wands is super fast and it supersedes the energy of, and it pretty much goes like our bookends. We have the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Like, dude, you can't get more dramatic than that. Like, that is going to be someone that is completely gung-ho. And even just with this exhaustion card, which is such a dope imagery of like looking at a highway or expressway, and you just see the streaks of lights, which could represent the cars passing at a fast pace. But when it's slowed down, it just looks like lines, like a path lighting up on which way to go. Kind of like a markers, like at the airport, when you're at an airport and like you, like how the pilot has to land the plane and like there's all these blinking lights and all this stuff. It's kind of reminded me of that. Like this person wants to land. They don't want to keep moving. So even though it's rushing in, they want to stabilize this. But it's going to probably be, and I'm going to say this because that's kind of where they're at. It's going to be, you might feel a little bit of a push-pull. And the reason for that is it's like this person's actions and words might be a little bit mismatched only because I'm picking up on the pacing energy where this person wants to rush in, but they're not going to. They're going to take it slow. And that could be for multiple reasons. It could be because they're not fully ready to offer something yet because they're still working towards some sort of goal that they have yet to achieve, but it's looking very promising. They could also be slowing this down because they don't want to, they may not have a lot of money, you know, to drive this any faster. But aside from those two reasons, there could be other things that are making this person want to slow down, especially if they're healing something, especially if something has, which now I'm curious because I was just going to go straight to the Oracle, but let's just take a moment. The Three of Swords, Five of Wands energy, which I'm getting more so that they are releasing the need, I would even say the need to keep themselves open. You know, they may have been in a long phase, guys, where they weren't locking in. Maybe they haven't had a relationship, like a legit relationship with someone in a while. So that's changing. That's clearly changing, but the pacing is going to be a little bit. So anyway, let me focus. Three of Swords in reverse. Is this you or their own healing? Ten of Cups in reverse. King of Swords. Ooh. Now, and now we're getting another king. King of Cups. With the Five of Wands, that could be competition. That could be the energy of, also the energy. I'm getting a few messages. So let me slow down and say one message at a time. One of the messages I'm getting, if this is their energy we are capturing, they are they're finding their sense of sovereign energy in some way. We're getting a lot of kings for them, but something about them being stuck in the Nine of Pentacles, they're not going to solidify their emperor status, whether they're male or female, or empress, however, but it's the feeling of them healing, again, the comparison, where they should be and where they're not. The King of Cups is in reverse. So that could be an emotional, lacking control in the emotional stability realm, which could have led to a delay. And then we got the King of Swords, someone that comes through very intelligently. With the Ten of Cups in reverse, it's like the lack of focusing on the future, that Ten of Cups, that happy ending in a romantic way. That's not what this person was focusing on. Not really picking up if this is you, but it's more so them that they're healing. They're healing themselves. But what's the Five of Wands here for? Reverse. Queen of Cups. Oh my gosh, guys. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. And who's in reverse? The King of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Two of Pentacles. That's crazy. So this person sees you. You and this person, it could have had, and I think the reason why we're not getting too much strong indicators is it might just be a few of you that have history with this person. But I think for the majority of you, whether you have a little bit of history or not, this person has gone through some sort of healing. I would even say, gosh, ascension. It's like they're seeing things differently at a higher angle with the aces. Even this exhaustion, it's almost like that news, that helicopter news, whenever the news is out, you always see the helicopters, at least where I'm from. So maybe the helicopters are out looking at the traffic to report to the 10 o'clock news. The point is, there's someone that is looking at things from a higher perspective. So I want to move on because let's review a little bit as I shuffle this a couple of times, because we're going to start the Heart's Hidden Secrets. But to review, guys, their hidden thoughts, let's start there. Their hidden thoughts are balancing between their goals, something that's going on in their 3D, their reality that they're working toward, which feels very promising. I feel like this person put a lot of work, time, effort, mind power into this journey that maybe has depleted them to some degree. Okay? So they are thinking about that, and they may not have shared everything that's going on in their personal life, especially if you guys weren't talking. But their other hidden thoughts, I would say, is the fact that there is some sort of clarity. There's some sort of higher perspective that they are seeing when it comes to romance, when it comes to movement, starting something new, starting a new beginning with someone that could be very special. They're not hyper focusing on you specifically, guys, which may not be a bad thing. I don't see this person snooping. Maybe they are keeping tabs. I don't know, but I'm not picking up on it. So the energy that I'm getting is pretty healthy. It's like they're focused on whatever it is that they're focused on in their life. And then when you cross their mind, it's giving them inspiration. They're aspiring to move. It's like all coming together for them. It feels like completion, like a full circle for them. So let's go a little deeper then and see if we could come up with some details to tie you into this reading specifically on what type of connection this is. But let's see. We have pride. Ooh, arrogance, ego, stubborn. King of Swords. That could have been them releasing some sort of ego, some sort of pattern. Soulmates. Wow. whether it's a soulmate or a some sort of spiritual connection. Wow. Releasing, healing. Guys, this person put work in, guys. This person went to work on themselves, and we got silence. So if you haven't heard from this person, or if there was some sort of silence, and even if you guys are communicating, I did pick up on a little bit of a hot cold temperature, because this person has other things that they are focused on, important things, right? It's not useless, it's not, but I do believe that they're healing a lot of things that has to do with their heart. And they probably needed that silence, guys. Curse. Wow. What imagery of curse. The pumpkin. Halloween might mean something to you. It says hex, witchcraft, negative mind. Negative mind. Ego. Pride. Did they heal that? Maybe in some degree they've ascended something that they've needed to. And I have a feeling that it has to do with some sort of, has to do with their heart chakra, is what I'm feeling. Because this is the type of person that doesn't really, they're not the vulnerable type in that sense of the word. They're business driven, they think logically, they are focused on building themselves, building their empire. But this is also a person that, you know, unknown to everyone else, their hidden thoughts and feelings, they've gone inward. They're putting the work in, guys. They're releasing things they've needed to release. They're healing. They may even be looking at this as a spiritual connection. And this is something that is surrounding their energy when you come across their mind, right? So a lot of this shift in themselves. It's really, you know, I don't know who this person is, but I'm feeling good energy from this person, guys. And yeah, maybe they're not there yet to offer something 100% with this King of Pentacles in reverse, but that's not to say they're not getting there. And I feel like they're going to get there. This is the type of person that is not afraid. Maybe they were at one point, but at this point, if they're willing to move in a direction of healing, whether that's self-healing, whether that has to do with spiritualism or not, not everyone could do that. So let's see, Truth Oracle. All right, this is, crown, falling on the ground. This is what they're aspiring to, guys. Their sovereign energy, their empress, their emperor. They want to be crowned. They're the King of Pentacles. That's kind of what they're identifying with right now in this energy. And that is on their mind. Also, crown chakras, you know, if we're talking about spiritualism for this person that's going inward, that could represent them accessing that energy, their intuition that they may start seeing or feeling or moving or honoring. Maybe that's the word. They're honoring their intuition, but they may not understand that's their intuition yet. But I don't think this person's stupid either, right? Like they're going inward consciously, so maybe they do. All right, we got the rose. Gosh, now it's reminding me of Beauty and the Beast with the king or the beast, and then the rose. Talent. Ooh, is this person like hidden truth? How funny, right? The hidden thoughts and feelings, and now we're getting the hidden truth for you guys, for this person. Torment. Okay. Bottom of the deck, roll the dice. That's what's happening with these aces and this 8 of Wands. It's like they don't even have to roll the dice because the vine is pushing them in the right direction. They know where to go. Divine intervention at the bottom of the deck. I feel talent is representing something that they're building. I don't know what it is, guys. You might not know. If we're talking about hidden thoughts and feelings, this person could be keeping it a little bit under wraps. Maybe they have a passion project. Maybe they started a new career, or maybe they are building something that is making them feel that they're on the right path. There could have been a lot of hidden truths that surface for them as you heal, as anyone heals. That's the hard part, like facing your truths, right? Like if someone or something is triggering you, and you could just fall into it, right? Like if someone's annoying you or someone, you can't, let's say it's a friend or someone, I don't know, it could be anyone, right? And something happened and you just can't get it out of your mind. That is a person that is not realizing ego is taking over. So when someone's aware, in a moment where you're just over captured by your thoughts because you're annoyed with something, whether it's something or someone, if you're aware, you could take a moment and ask yourself, why is this triggering me? What is it about this person or this situation that's making me feel this way? What do I need to learn? So all of that to say, this person is there, like they are starting to understand some of their triggers, perhaps, that they may not have been recognizing, or perhaps may have been tormenting themselves with by pushing things down at one point, is no longer the case, guys. They're healing. It's surfacing. And it says tip of the iceberg. This could just be the tip of the iceberg for them. So now they're ready for a little bit of romance, right? Like that's how you know this person has worked so hard on themselves. And with that, let's get into archetypes, because I want to make sure that I'm not giving this person too much credit with healing, even though I am feeling it. I'm not going to lie. But let's confirm, or let's see what else we could see with the archetypes. Like, where is this person currently, energetically? What's their archetype? What are they working on? What energy, especially when it comes to our group 2 spirit, right? Like their hidden thoughts and feelings for group 2. What do we need to see? What do we need to see? The offering. Oh my God. What is this? Kairos. Kairos always comes up whenever I'm thinking of loyalty. What else do we need? Okay. The poets. My goodness. Anima Mundi. Wow. Guys, talk about growth. I like this energy. The offering does feel what's happening right now. There is an offer. Someone is coming towards you. If they haven't done it yet, guys, like I said, some of you could be currently communicating with this person, talking. This could be a new beginning, or a new beginning with someone you've already known for a little bit. It really depends on you, collective. But regardless, if it hasn't happened, this is what's happening in real time. I don't think this person, I mean, they're hidden thoughts, feelings, but it's going to come into fruition in reality. This person could be a poet. They could be really good with words. If they are a King of Swords, a person who is an intelligent, logical thinker, I could imagine a King of Swords being a poet. I'm going to be honest. You would think it would be the King of Wands, perhaps, with that fire, but King of Swords, that quiet, mysterious energy, right? I mean, the poet is emotional. Poetry itself, it's visual, it's dramatic. It could be You know, it's the imagery of poetry when you're reading the words, regardless if it rhymes or not, right? It could be any type of poem. But I'm getting internal rhyme for some reason. Like this person is seeing like the poetic justice. If you've ever seen that movie with Janet Jackson and Tupac, shout out to Tupac. But poetic justice, that energy of someone just making a step in a romantic direction while creating justice in their own life. Like it's almost as though this person may have been missing out. You know, if they've been keeping their options open and not really locking in, it could have felt lonely. Perhaps it could feel unfulfilling, which is why this person is coming to that type of understanding about their healing process. For some reason, I want to look up Kairos. Even though I get this card a lot, I always forget what the book says. But I always get captured by this eye, and it looks like a dog's eye, like a Labrador. It's reminded me of that loyalty. It's card number 76. So hang on one second. All right, guys. So I found it before I unpaused because I didn't want to waste time. But I found it pretty quick because I knew it was toward the back of the book. So it says mythic time, synchronicity. We have all had the experience of timelessness of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. Time. Guys, remember we talked about comparison where this person might have felt like they're not where they should be. And that has to do with time. Maybe they feel like they're at a certain age where they should be at a certain point in their life. That could also have to do with, you know, their romantic trajectory. So I think time is something that this person is starting to grasp in reality. I mean, technically time doesn't exist. Hopefully that doesn't trigger you, but time is a man-made concept. You really think of spiritualism, everything is happening all at once, so the point is for this person, time is starting to not speed by so fast. It's like this person is capturing time and understanding how to pace it. Or at least maybe that's what this person is trying to balance. You know, forward movement, the passion, the excitement of moving, but also what they feel comfortable with, knowing how things need to feel aligned with movement. So the offering is coming, guys. Or it's already here. Let me know in the comments if you are already speaking to this person and what is going on, if you can. If you're not speaking to this person, let's see. We're looking at cosmic insights. I want to get one more indicator of hidden thoughts and feelings before we end with our crow. Wisdom, which is a new oracle deck that I have, guys. So with our cosmic insights, what do we need to see? Confession. Oh my goodness, their hidden thoughts and feelings. Are they going to confess? I mean, they have stuff to talk to you about. They're moving in your direction. They're making an offer. Confession could represent a lot, though. They could talk to you about what's going on in their life, everything we talked about. This could be something that they may want to talk to you about. They're moving in. Maybe not literally moving in. Maybe. I did get a comment that someone was moving in. But for the majority of you, this could be symbolic, right? Like this person is moving towards you. We are also getting cycles. You know, that's kind of what I felt earlier, like something is coming into completion for this person because they've worked on themselves. So I'm wondering if they are coming into full circle with something that they've needed to heal. Water sign. This person could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We did get a lot of water imagery and energy coming through of heart chakra as well. So let's get one more just because I'm curious. Move on. Move on. I feel like they're moving on from something that they've needed to release, guys. It's doesn't feel bad. We got intimacy at the bottom of the deck. I'm hearing a honk. Wow, intimacy. Now that could look like a lot of different ways, not just physical, even though we did get the Ace of Wands as our first card. So I wouldn't be surprised if this person does think about you, you know, in a passionate way. But it could also be emotional. And I think that's where the balance might need a little bit more time with, especially if this is a person that comes through with the Swords energy, a Pentacles energy. You know, that's where they're focused, that type of energy, something more grounded, in other words, right? Something less emotional, spiritual. It's like they're wanting to ground this in reality. They're a logical thinker. All right, so, but here's the thing, they're healing whatever it is that they're going through and releasing. It could make them open themselves up to a different way of thinking, which we already talked about. I don't know this person, but I'm proud of them, guys. And I hope this is a good person for you. Use your discernment always, because even though I'm quote unquote proud of this type of energy of someone going through it and looking inward, whether they're on a divine path or not, maybe not, right? But they're still taking the time to heal, whatever it is. And that's good for anyone. Like I would recommend that for everyone. And there is no end point to healing. So maybe that's what this person needs to understand, that this is a road that they're always going to be on, but they don't have to rush it. They don't have to miss it. You know, when you speed things up, you miss the good stuff. So this person needs to slow it down. They need to, this Eight of Wands, this, with that Pentacle energy. But they are going to offer you that rose, guys. The Beast, with Beauty and the Beast, that rose is going to be... And even like talking about timing when it comes to the rose, because in the movie Beauty and the Beast, the fairy tale, you know, if the last petal fell, then the curse, which we did get curse, oh my gosh, the curse would be permanent. And in order to break the curse, someone needed to fall in love with the Beast. But in order for that to happen, the Beast needed to lighten up, right? And to be normal and to not be so beastly. And that is the story of this reading, guys. Oh my gosh. All right, let me know. For those of you that are anti-fairy tales, and again, I get that too. My cousin, she's a psychologist. For her PhD, she did a dissertation on the fairy tales and how that affects women, and I don't know, it was really dope. It was a cool thing to read. But anywho, I still like fairy tales, but again, use your discernment even with energy of falling into la la land with fairy tales, right? Okay, so this is our new deck, and it's pretty tiny. The lighting is a little better today. It says Counsel in the Trees. How interesting is that? I think Spirit is coming in very strong for a reading like this, guys. And I feel as though you do have counsel. You do have, whether it's legit people around you, whether it's your own intuition, your own soul speaking to you, your spirit team. But I feel as though you have, or coming to a tarot reading, right? Like you have counsel and you're okay. You're going to be okay. Call of warning. Ooh, how dramatic. To go back to discernment, you know, even though as your reader, you know, I have to be careful with always, like, especially when I come across a positive energy like this, like I'm feeling good about it. That's when you especially have to use your discernment too, right, guys? Because you are still the only person that is experiencing whatever it is that's going on with this person in reality. So the nuances of a general reading, just make sure that you don't ignore red flags if they come up. And how that might look with this person, which I already picked up on, is like a hot cold. I don't think this person is like a person that's going to ghost you, or they may leave you on read or read for a couple of days, but they're going to show up in some consistent way. Like they may rush in 1 minute and then fall off for a couple of days the next, something like that. So if that's the flags you're looking at, then if it's triggering, remember what we said, like, why is it triggering? What is it? Are you overthinking this? Are you hyper focused on your phone? When are they next going to text you? Or when are you next going to see them? It's important to pace yourself as well. So we are also getting inky feather. Ooh, the poets. Feather pens. I don't know why I'm thinking of a feather pen. We do see a feather on the side. That could represent communication, guys. I'm getting. Also looking at this really dope frame. It could be a mirror, but it's like a black mirror, or it could just be a window into the night sky. All right, we're leaving it with Keeper of Secrets. Oh my goodness, what a way to leave it with their hidden thoughts and feelings. And for you, you're the Keeper of Secrets. That feels aligned. That feels where if this person starts communicating and opens up and starts being more vulnerable, they trust you. It's because they trust you. You're the keeper of secrets for them, perhaps. It's important also, if you are getting counsel from others, whether it's people or not, to, if it's someone that is important to you, I always feel like if you're with someone and it is a very important relationship, where what you guys do in your relationship, it should be very sacred. So be careful of how much you share with others, I would say. But again, if your best friend wants to know what's going on, type of thing. All right. Bottom of the deck, the bridge between. So bridging this, meeting each other. So, wow, guys, their hidden thoughts and feelings for you is through the roof type of energy. And I feel this is gonna be coming into fruition. You're gonna get signals that how this person feels, but they may hide it. They may come out, they may hide it. It's that hot cold, but it's because they really feel strongly pulled toward you. Okay? So this is where we're leaving it, guys. Remember to always use your discernment. I love you, and let me know if this resonated. I hope it helped in some way. Leave a comment, a like, subscribe if you haven't. Hopefully I'll see you again. Bye, guys. Welcome, Group 3, to your reading today. If you chose this Dalmatian Jasper Crystal Heart or the Intuition card, then you're at the right place. So what does it say? It says heart song, telepathy, inner knowing, your intuition, right? So for some reason you were attracted to today's reading, Group 3. So let's see what's going on. We're going to start with the tarot. We have the Light Seers tarot deck for your reading today. I just felt called to use this deck for you guys. So we're shuffling it this way with the image because I want to unbend the deck. All right, Spirit, thank you so much for coming through, as always, for our collective energy. Tapping into hidden thoughts and feelings for our Group 3s. collective, from this person that you're thinking about, group 3. So what's going on with them? Their hidden thoughts and feelings. Spirit, thank you so much for coming through. May we get the best messages for group 3's higher self today. Thank you so much. All right, guys, their hidden thoughts and feelings. What do we need to see, Spirit, with this person? What's going on? Their hidden thoughts and feelings, regardless of whatever connection or relationship, we're going to figure that out. See what collective Spirit wants to tap into today. Ooh, a little resistant. Their hidden thoughts and feelings. Of course, the King of Swords. Such a strong energy. Someone that has boundaries, you know, that has that knows what they want, right? It's someone that's very intelligent. Okay, we also got the Knight of Swords. Okay. We're getting the 7 of Cups in reverse. Their hidden thoughts and feelings, Spirit. Oh my goodness, what a dope. I feel like I haven't used this deck in a while. It's card number 13, Death, but it coincides with Rebirth, which makes so much sense because death is, I always look at it as a transformation. It's a transformative energy with Scorpio, Mars energy, in fact. So this is our first major arcana, guys. Ooh, look at the hood of this person and then the hoodie on the death. Just, all right, we're getting our second major arcana, the Hanged Man, card number 12. Pisces energy, which is water. So we're getting air. That could be Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But we are also getting water with Scorpio, with Pisces, and we got the 7 of Cups in reverse. Let's see what else. This person's hidden thoughts and feelings for our group 3, Spirit. 7 of Swords. Ooh. The person with the hood again. 7 of Swords. Something definitely is not being revealed. Now, this is considered the, you know, 7 of Swords could be the liar card, that type of energy, but it could also represent so much in a reading like this with hidden thoughts and feelings. So we're definitely going to have to dig deeper of what that is. Is it their hidden thoughts and feelings? Is that how deep it goes? Are they showing you something differently? Or is there something they need to reveal? Like legit. So we'll check into that. Ooh, a Tower. So the Tower card is another major arcana, card number 16. More of that Mars Scorpio energy that we got from Death here. Interesting. Mars is coming through very strong for this energy. So now we're getting the 4 of Swords with the 7 of Cups in reverse for this person. They're definitely focused on you. 10 of Wands. And the 9 of Wands. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Oh, look at that. Queen of Wands in reverse. In their subconscious. And 9 of Swords in reverse. The Devil in reverse. Jeez. 3 of Cups in reverse. All right, guys. This may be someone, it's not really, this person isn't really thinking about some sort of distance or no contact. They're not focused on it, but I'm getting an indicator that there may be a little bit of a disconnect between the both of you. This could feel where this person is thinking about you very, very, a lot. Okay. I feel as though they could be kept up at night. They may not be sleeping. They could really be using thoughts of you. And the word using comes in strong, but they could really be using thinking about you as a time for them to feel more comfortable and safe. But look at how like this Four of Swords is in a fetus position, more comfortable keeping these thoughts and feelings inside, in that fetus position. And look at the nest surrounding. It's like this person is in a bird's nest with their heart. So boundaries, definitely this person is thinking about when it comes to you. I do believe that there's not really anyone else on their mind romantically. There's no other options. I feel as though you might be something that they're focused on. But the thing is, they are thinking about this in a reflective way. And I do believe that they're gaining some sort of insight. They're thinking very logically, guys. They're definitely in their brain right now. They're in their ego. But is it a bad thing? I don't think so. I don't think it's a necessarily bad thing for someone to be in their brain, especially if they're using it for what it's needed, right? To think things through, to gain some insights, to gain some wisdom, to reflect. That's how this person is using their brain, which feels not that bad. But they still are heavily in their thoughts, okay? Now, some of the things that they're thinking about, let's go there, because I don't think there's any forward movement. The Hanged Man could indicate a lack of movement in general. Yet we're getting the Knight of Swords running to the motorcycle. And the King of Swords contemplating with the owl and the bird and a dragon. A dragonfly. Surrounded by animals that are intelligent, wise, in an ascension. So again, with the Hanged Man and just the imagery of this King of Swords on top of a peak, it's shifting. This person is shifting. Now, the imagery I'm getting of a person running toward this motorcycle, but it's almost in flight. They have a hoodie on, but what is this? This is a bow and arrow, or one of those mechanical ones, archery. So it's a weapon of sorts, right? And maybe that's their spirit animal, the crow. Running. We got a lot of crows in this deck, which is kind of cool, because we are going to end with a new oracle that I have, Crow Wisdom. So this was meant to be. You intuitively pick this. And that's the funny part, talking about intuition. When someone is in their brain thinking logically and going with logic, that not necessarily means they're going with their intuition, right? But for them, it could feel aligned. And for them, for all they know, it could be intuitively guided. But either way, they're running toward a motorcycle, but it looks like they're in flight, meaning something's chasing them off. They're trying to get away. And it's coming with the tower, okay? So what could that represent, right? Like that could be where there's history involved between the both of you. This could be someone that ran away from a conversation, that left, that ghosted, that took off, and it could have been very abrupt. The tower could have been something that needed to break down, especially if there was no foundation built between the both of you. But I'm not picking up on this being new energy, guys. This feels more so, like I said, there's history, and it could have been an end now that I'm getting the indicator of death. It could have been literally where you and this person disconnected, and that's what this person is thinking, but mostly they're thinking about the rebirth of it. So that could represent a new beginning. That could be the perspective switch, what they need to build, what they need to create, because they ran away from whatever it is that was being built. Does that make sense, guys? Like, and you would know, right? That would be confirmation that this is your reading, because if they if it's someone that you really do value them, right? Like they're the type of person that you just think highly of, you know, a person that thinks intelligently could be very attractive too. So I could see why this person appeals or attracts you. And the thing is, part of the appeal may be that runner chaser. So be careful with that, guys, if that's the current energy. But this person could be on a sojourn. I'm like getting a story here. You know, they're finally taking a moment, taking a beat. They got to where they needed to go and they're seeing things from a different perspective, a different, higher angle. But it's been a rough road and they've been journeying. They've been running away from something. They've been running away from something and also cautious and ready to strike. Look at how this person now has a knife in their hands, something in their back, could be feather weapons. Cloud is on the screen. Cloud! I had to pause and yell, he's off. He was stretching, but he was using the screen. So, gosh, the momentum, and then it ended with Cloud on the screen. But I did want to get a little bit more information about this Seven of Swords before we move on. But honestly, it could just be them hiding themselves, hiding out, not really being open, running away. It could be from a lot of different things and holding themselves up in fetal position, you know, at the end of the day. This could have been a runner. This could be a runner. But here's the thing. We got rebirth and we got the Hanged Man. The energy, before we get to the Seven of Swords, and just to double check if there's not any other truth that literally needs to be revealed from this person, because a lot of it is just, they could be running from themselves. They could be running from themselves, hiding from themselves, at war with themselves. But that feels more in the past, something that they are getting through, because the Four of Swords is a very reflective energy. But they still may be trying to keep themselves safe, right? Which is why there's no movement. 10 of Wands, 9 of Wands. Like, that's heavy energy, guys. This is a person that's been battered, bruised, that's been through it. This person looks homeless. 10 of Wands, look at it. It's like a nomad. The buffalo is such a spiritual animal, by the way. Not knowing where to land, not knowing where there's safety, home, comfort. It's like just on the go, a nomad, right? Like not really having anyone, anywhere to call home. If we're looking at this symbolically, but with the buffalo, it's like this person connecting more to their spirit, but they may not know it. But they're going to keep going. That's the thing about this person, guys. This person is not going to stop. So even though there's stuck energy when it comes to you and romance and moving this connection forward, that doesn't mean this person is stuck. This person is still going to try to find a solution. They're still going to go down different paths. They may not know where to go. And I do believe that this person has built a lot of strength, like a lot of strength that carries them in a forward movement in their own life. They may have gone through a lot of challenges, but look at how strong this person looks standing with their wand lit, surviving all of the wands, you know, all of the experiences. So I want to get into a couple of things. We're going to start with the Seven of Swords, because this person is clearly reflecting on something that's finally coming to light, that they're finally seeing, perhaps for the first time. It's like they're seeing it in the mind's eye. So, Seven of Swords. Is there anything we need to know? Hidden thoughts, feelings for our group 3. Like, what is this about, Spirit? Anything specific? Justice? Yeah, they lie to themselves, guys. They sabotage. This is what we're already picking up on, but let's get Eight of Wands in reverse, which is not moving forward, which we already know. So this is it. This is what they're thinking about. Whatever it is that they've done. Ooh, Queen of Swords in reverse. Look at that. King and Queen of Swords, some sort of pairing. And look at the Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, both in reverse. If that is representing the energy you're coming through with, there is a disconnect, clearly. And this person sees it. This person is thinking about it. They know it. Now, what are they thinking about? They're thinking about justice, something about justice in the lack of movement. So if this person was a runner, they're thinking about it, guys. They are also realizing that this is something they sabotaged. This is something that they weren't being real with. Maybe they were not being real with you, that they weren't ready. Maybe they were, and I get that too. If someone's being real with you and telling you, like, listen, I'm not trying to go there. I'm not trying to have a commitment, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't believe them and you continue to move in their direction, then you can't blame this person, right? Like, and I get that. I've been there. But at the same time, something about this justice feels as though this is King of Cups in reverse. This is something they may not want to even admit to themselves right now, but they are going there because of this energy. So if there's been an end, which feels like a permanent end between the both of you, whether it's because this person ran and now you are completely blocked, it could be one of those type of situations. I will tell you this person, it shook this person up. This was the Tower. And maybe this person ran away from this for so long. They just want to escape from this. Now, did the Tower actually happen for them? I feel like that's the current energy. Things are breaking down around them. So they're trying to seek comfort. Did I want to get the Tower though? Not really. But now we are going to get it, because now I'm wondering, is this something that this person is running from still? I don't think so, because with Death and Hangman, it seems like they finally face the music. But since we're talking about it, all right, we got the Page of Swords in reverse. I always get that energy when someone's snooping on someone, like that could be the person that's spying. So let's get one more, because does that mean, two more. Two of Wands in reverse, Five of Cups in reverse. This person's running away, guys. Now, are they still looking into you? Perhaps. But whatever this is ending though, because if there is a Tower, which could feel like a complete destructive energy of something that needs to be transformed. Towers don't necessarily mean a bad thing. It could feel horrible. It could be challenging. It depends on the type of tower. If it's a physical tower, an emotional tower, yada, yada. For this person, it's an emotional tower for sure. And that's what they're running from. And something about that emotional tower is breaking them open to see things differently. So let's just get one. Two. Two is falling to the ground face down. So let's look at it together. Three of Cups again, King of Wands. We did get the Queen of Wands. Guys, we got the Queen of Wands, King of Wands. The queens are in reverse. The kings aren't. So what could we surmise by that? This person is getting into their power. They're gaining a little bit of that power as they are reflecting on the disconnect between the both of you. This could be the catalyst that they need, guys. The sun is not shining on them, though. They're not happy. They're not happy in this disconnect, which is why they're going inward, which is why they're in reflective mode. Because if they've been running for so long, and it might not just have to do with you, right? It could be any type of emotional situation, something emotional that drives them. It could be a fight with their family member. It could be an argument with their boss. It could be having a crush on a group 3. It could be any emotion. But if it comes with intensity, that's where this person felt, DEFCON 5, like they need to get ready for battle. They need to have their war. They need to have their hoodie up. They need to run, But that is evolving. So that is what we're getting from the tarot. So what does that mean, right? Their hidden thoughts and feelings. Clearly, they have feelings for you, but are they still denying those feelings? Are they still pushing those down? That is maybe where the justice needs to be had. And maybe that's why there's no forward movement, because it's one thing to be aware and to reflect and go inward, but that could take time. It really depends on the person, the situation, what the tower involves. And for this person that may have been running for so long from any type of emotional charge, this could be something they're healing from childhood. They may have been taught not to be vulnerable, show emotion, stop crying, type of energy. And this is what happens in adulthood, in romance, when a child is told not to be emotional. Because emotion is not a bad thing, right? Emotion gives us a sign of what's aligned, what's not aligned. Okay, so if you're at peace, if your set point is peace and something triggers you, you're going to get an emotional reaction. So, all right, I could go down the rabbit hole with that, guys, but let me focus, because today we are focusing on hidden thoughts and feelings from this person. And if we need to talk about other stuff, then we will. So let's see. Let's go a little deeper, Spirit. If with the Oracle, like the specific emotions they're running from when it comes to group 3, what else are they thinking about? Heart fog. Gosh, it's like they're seeing the light, but it's still foggy. This person thinks too much. I just feel like it's going to take time for this person to release whatever it is that they're releasing, because they've been lacking that healing energy or that reflective energy for a while, probably, guys. So this is maybe a bigger deal for them. Confessions. Now, this again is interesting because we got 7 of Swords and confessions, which makes me want to bust out my clarifying deck just to double check. Second chance, apology. Confession, second chance, apology. That might be it. That might be what we need to know. And that's the justice, right? There's a disconnect. This person is focusing more so on what happened, or I guess what they were running from, than you specifically. It's more of the energy, it's like they're learning the lesson, guys. But it's process time for them is a while. It might take some time. But for anyone that's going inward, do we want to dig a little deeper? Collective, give me an answer. Energetically, are we looking deeper into confessions? And I'm going to say no, because I feel like it's emotional. Okay, so we don't need to do that. I don't think there is a lie. If anything, this person's lying to themselves about their emotions because they are just not sure what it is. We're not getting specific emotions yet. We'll see if anything comes up, though. Broken at the bottom of the deck, distance. I think that kind of is where it's at, But whatever is giving them comfort, guys, could be their thoughts about a second chance, an apology. Like that might make them feel a little better knowing that it's as the flame is going out. I finally caught it. I knew it was about to die down because it's been on for a while, my tea candle. And typically I never notice when it goes out, but that's the thing, like the flame softly, quietly went out. It's like this person needs to go night night, like they need to turn off the light and get a good rest, stop overthinking, and release. Wow, guys. And we still have a few oracles. So let's keep going. I want to see what else could come through with their hidden thoughts and feelings. Because again, I think a lot of why we're not getting specific emotions is because this person never really faced their emotions in a lot of different areas in their life, let alone romance. Maybe for a while, right? Like maybe this person was vulnerable at one point and it backfired. Maybe they closed themselves off. Like there could be so many scenarios, but honestly, I feel like for this energy I'm picking up on, it's been something this person's been sitting with for a while, and it feels kind of sad. Someone blocking themselves from their intuition, blocking themselves from love, because that's how the world goes. As a divine, and I do identify with going down a divine journey, guys, it's all about love. Like, I don't even know how else to say peace, love. Like, that's what you're here to teach the world as a divine. So when you think about people that don't run away from love, it's just the weirdest. It's just hard to believe. But again, being a tarot reader, I get it all the time. Like some people just are in their ego, But if this person is getting out of that ego and getting to, past their emotional block that they've had, that's so cool for them, right? But it's still going to be a long journey. So what does that mean for you? All right. I digressed. Let me get back. Their hidden thoughts and feelings, truth oracle. What do we need to see, Spirit? Again, a little resistance. Ascending. Ooh, I always love this energy. This person definitely has ascended something when it comes to this. They're on the top of the mountain. They're coming through as two kings upright as well. So they feel strong in how they're handling this. But I think it's because they come with strength. Like that's their set point. Maybe that's why they've carried on without love and going inward and emotions for so long, because their strength was building elsewhere. So they still have that strength, right? So now that emotional energy is coming in, that could be what's taking them to a higher level, guys. We got breakup. That could definitely be the sign of them looking at this as some sort of end, some sort of breakup, some sort of separation. So they're not missing that, right? Like they're definitely thinking about it. Clown. Gosh, I'm just getting the message right away of they feel like a clown. They may have been wearing a mask because of that. Commitment. Oh my God. That's hidden. Look at like the knight being anointed. Pledging loyalty. The dramatic red. Ugh. Reminds me of Darth Vader in Star Wars. Either way, commitment. The energy of like Darth Vader in Star Wars, and then the word commitment. So that also could have been very frightening or big of a deal. Still is when it comes to this person, but they're thinking about it. This is something they could be ascending. Divine intervention. I love that. I noticed that at the bottom of the deck. You have got to be joking, guys. If you're not looking at the screen or your device, intuition, bottom of the deck. If you forgot, that's the card that we chose. So let's take a look at this, guys. Sixth sense, intuition, subconscious. You can't make that up. That was spirit. Mic drop for spirit. Okay, intuition. Let me focus. Intuition is now giving us an indicator that this person definitely is going is listening more to their intuition, whether they know it or not. Intuition starts with soul. Your ego, your mind, that is not who you are. And I feel like this person is going into their emotion, into their soul, into understanding that their emotion is a very good indicator of what's aligned, what's not aligned. And if something about your energy is making them feel safe when they think about, that could be where the intuition is working. There's commitment involved in some degree, even if this person in reality isn't showing you this. That's hidden, guys. This person could be a very well committed type of person. And I don't want to keep you stuck. Focus on this person saying that to you. I'm just being transparent, but honk in the background. But that doesn't mean you wait around for this person to figure it out, because again, it goes back to potential. This person needs to be ready. If they're going to apologize, second chance confessions, then guess what? They have to do that. They can't just keep thinking about it for months, weeks, years. That means nothing, right? They have to actually move and go toward that apology, that second chance, that confession. They need to step in. They need to be anointed, in their energy. So that could be, like I said, that could be where they're at, but it could be a long journey. It depends on the person. It really depends on the person. It could differ. It could very differ. But if I'm picking up on the correct energy for the majority, it's going to take a while, because if this person has been shoving their emotions down, even their anger, they could be like a passive aggressive type of person. Like whenever they get in a fight, they ignore, they pretend everything is okay the next day, even though they're fuming inside, because they don't want to rock the boat. Rocking the boat scares them. But here's the deal. The tower happened. The boat was rocked, right? Like the lightning crashed into the tree and the tree is uprooted. The family of animals don't have a home. It's like a theme I'm getting of safety, comfort. Something about your energy is making them feel that. And they're not running from that. But how it's looking in reality is they're not moving forward. So I know that could be very frustrating, right? Like, what do? Well, you don't sit around and wait around for this person. But I'm curious if the Archetypes is going to give us any specifics on how far along this person is. In their energy, like what's their archetype right now, spirit? Ooh, okay. Gnosis, falling on the ground and very difficult to pick up. I think I scratched the edge with my nail. Gnosis, I'm assuming the G is silent. Gnosis, the mystic, gosh, look at this. The prayer, and I couldn't help but look at the cross. And now we're getting the prayer. We're getting mystic. Guys, this person is being activated. Ironically, you chose intuition for a reason. You could be very intuitive. It has to be, because were guided to this pile to understand that this person is wakening up to something about their intuition it's blowing their mind right now. It created a tower for them. So what could that mean? It means that something about you is inspiring them. The one at the bottom of the deck. Gosh, guys, the last thing I want to do is keep you stuck in a loop with this person. So depending on where this person is, if they're not moving forward, you should not hang on, is my advice. Okay. And yes, I am going to give that disclaimer. So don't come to me in the comments, because the reason I do this channel is to help you guys and to make sure you're getting those insights to make the best decisions for you, to always choose yourself, especially when it comes to energy that's not moving towards you, regardless of what type of connections, karmic, spiritual, whatever it is, it's important that you always choose yourself. Okay, is my point. Now, this person could also view you as someone that is choosing yourself. They know that you might be a mystic. We're picking up on that. You chose intuition. So maybe you are a mystic in some degree, whether you practice or not. You could be very spiritual. You could be very religious. It could look so different, how you communicate with spirit, with God, with the universe, whatever you might name that. It's all that. It's all the same, right? So I want to look up gnosis. So hang on one second, guys. Okay, so I found it. And of course, innermost knowing mystic truths. Funny enough, we're talking about hidden thoughts and feelings, and now we're talking about mystic truths. Guys, again, be careful with spiritual connections too, as far as putting labels on things, because for some of you, if you resonate with this being a counterpart, for example, we did get 2 sets of counterparts. It's important that you don't label it, because you could really look the other way when someone's not treating you right. And I understand that, right? Like where you feel so much, and you know how important the connection is. Like you see it, right? You feel it, but they may not. And if they don't see it or feel it, it's not going to look pretty, and you shouldn't stick around for it. Is what I would say to you guys, right? So to go back to this energy, you obviously have gone a lot farther along, especially if this person is going through a tower. I do believe that you are being viewed as someone that honestly does come from a place of intuition. You're a little different. This person, if they, from the get-go, we were picking up air energy, right? Like this person is a thinker. This person is using it for good right now, though. They're going inward, they're reflecting, they're really digging deep and trying to release, and they're going through it. And for them to see you as someone that doesn't have to overthink, that doesn't have to go through it, that just could be guided intuitively because you're that mystic, because you could be that blessing, because of your energy. Something about it, again, makes them feel safe. Wow. All right. This is a person, though, that isn't moving forward. And I want to see if there's any indicator of, is there any indicator of what else specifically in this particular moment that's holding them from movement? Aside from what we already know, yes, they're in reflection. They're going through something. Whether I think it's more emotional, to be honest. And it's keeping them from movement. But is there anything else, or any other thoughts, feelings, anything else that we need to see when it comes to this person? Water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We also have they'll be back. Wow. Expect to hear from them soon. We have a lot of indicators of that, guys. Now, as far as pacing, maybe that's something your intuition is guiding you toward, and maybe you're not supposed to know. But water sign is coming through, even though we didn't get that in the tarot. So that could be the emotional energy that's being fully charged within this person that is choosing not to run right now. They're in a moment of stillness. So again, that's a little different than what their set point was. So I think that's a good sign too, that things are shifting or will shift sooner rather than later. But for this person, like I said, it could be a while. Pets, gosh, being at home, cozying up to pets. Liar, dude. Guys, we got the Seven of Swords, confessions. I didn't dig deep, and now we're getting the liar, and now I'm wondering if I should dig deep again. And now if you're still here, you're probably like, yeah, I think it's time. So give me a second. Let me get manifest at the bottom of the deck. It might be the same thing that we already know. I think I had it near me. All right, let me press pause. Hang on. Okay. Oh my gosh. My nervous energy. All right, let me slow down, and I just hit my knee, guys. All right, but everything looks good. Okay, I went to go get my Nefertari deck, and I just want to double check because this is coming back again to haunt us. Is this person, he, she, it doesn't matter, them, they, if are they lying about something? Is there something more than them keeping their emotions from, like, again, the energy we're picking up on is them keeping their emotions trapped, even to themselves. Like, they've been lying to themselves about how they feel in multiple situations, not just romance. But is there anything else? That's what do we need to see with this liar? Their hidden thoughts, feelings. Three of Cups. Is there a third party? There could have been something interfering, guys, that maybe they haven't opened up to you about. Could be a karmic that they are releasing. Let's get one more. Queen of Cups, Queen of Chalices. Five of Wands. Yeah. Okay. Something interfered. I'm getting more so Queen of Chalices is you. But there is a third party. It could be someone else that came through, guys. I feel as though this person may have been trapped in some karmic cycle with someone that they are releasing. And again, that could have kept them stuck or further into the feeling that they can't open up to someone or be in a loving relationship. You know, that could have been the energy I picked up a while ago where I mentioned, you know, maybe they're healing, maybe they were vulnerable at one point and it backfired and it burned this person to the point where now they're so closed off, that it's affecting something special. What could be special between the both of you. Now, here's the good news. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side. The star. That's the good news. There's hope. My God, Spirit. All right, we're going to leave it over here. Manifest at the bottom of this deck. That's where the hope is. And now it's reminding me that I do want to light a new tea candle. So as I'm lighting this, you know, just to say the liar card, maybe that was triggering to hear there could have been a karmic, but I feel like you would already know. And the last thing you want to do is compare yourself or snoop onto this third party. If you've been doing that, you need to stop, because if this person really is meant to be for you, then there's no comparison. You know, what is it? Comparison is the thief of happiness. If this karmic, for example, is trying to compete with you, which is so weird, and I've been there too. Like, everything you do, all of a sudden this person does it or has it or something. I don't know. It's weird, right? And if you're noticing things like that, just remember that could be synchronicity for Spirit to say, why is that triggering to you? Take it as a compliment. If you're in your own sovereign energy, again, there is no competition. You're you. You're worth a million yous, right? So it's like, it doesn't matter. The right person will choose you every time. So just in case you got triggered with this third party, guys, because I get it. I get it. And it's very easy to be triggered by someone that you're really, like, if you're really tongue in the background, if you're really digging this person, and if this is more of a spiritual connection than we're talking about with these counterparts, you know, here's the thing, like, you could feel so triggered by this person choosing someone else. And you might question that, like, why, right? What is it about that person? And then you go and you find out and you're like, eh. Which is why you remember, you are always should be in your divine. There's no competition. There's no comparison with the right person. The right person will choose you every time. Okay? All right. Sorry. I felt like I had to repeat it just because I know some of you may have gotten a zap. You may have gotten a zap when we first saw the Seven of Swords or the Confessions, especially for those of you that know there's some sort of karmic situation, connection that what may have interfered. But again, it was all happening for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, guys. This person needed to go through a tower in some regard, and they're here now. So forget about them. What about you? I want to look into our new oracle, the crow wisdom. And ironically, we're getting so much crow imagery in this light seers, which I didn't even realize I had, because I haven't used this deck in a while. All right, so we're getting the loyal shadow. The loyal shadow. It says, your darkness, your fears, your anger is not an energy. It follows you faithfully. Acknowledge it. Let me read that again. I know that was very broken because I'm trying to read the words. So, your darkness, your fears, your anger is not an energy. Oh, I'm sorry. It is not an enemy. It follows you faithfully. Acknowledge it. So, okay. If you're being triggered, which ironically you could be, whether it's about a third party, not, or just where this energy is, something about it, you've had to disconnect. You might be, you know, we got the two queens in reverse, the loving queen, the Queen of Cups upright with the third party. So you could have been in an energy, in a soft energy toward this person when it wasn't the best timing, perhaps. And that could have really hurt. And I'm sorry. I've been there. It sucks. But you'll get through it. And remember, if this person chose someone else, I'm getting emotional talking about it because I get it, right? Then that's it. That's all you need to know. But I don't think that might be the case, right? So the loyal shadow, whether that's a fear of yours or not, you have to release it. Because again, if you're being trapped and not knowing, it's because this person isn't moving in your direction. So stop thinking about it. They're not, regardless if this person has someone else or not, this person isn't moving towards you. If they want to, yes. But you got to see it to believe it type of thing at this point. So keep that in mind. Hold to your own, reality and your own boundaries when it comes to this person. And I know that you get what I'm saying because you chose the intuition card. You know what that means. You know when something doesn't feel aligned. So if you're falling into a trap of misalignment by focusing on this person, get out of there. Storm Caller is coming through, and bottom of the deck is Shiny Distraction. Maybe you need a shiny distraction. That might not be a bad idea. If you are, and again, you might not be, so so feel free to click off at this point. But for those of you that have not been in your best higher self right now, yet that's typically your set point. You may have taken a dip in ego, maybe because of the distance, or maybe moving past the energy of whatever this tower created in a ripple effect for you, perhaps. I feel as though Spirit is saying, you know, being in the middle of a storm is not something that someone could avoid forever. Like as you're ascending, as you're going through down your journey, you're going to get moments where it's going to feel like an emotional turmoil. That's how you ascend, right? You have to go through it. You have to figure out why it's triggering. So if you're in that moment, guys, I am wishing you the best of luck. Go inward. Why is this triggering? Maybe distract you. Literally make a choice. Go out on a different date, and if that doesn't sound aligned, do something that is calling you. Something that's shiny that's calling you. Maybe it's talking about like buying a new like bag or buying a new pair of shoes or whatever, go shopping. All right. And again, if you can't afford it, don't go shopping. But just just make a right decision for you guys. Go with your intuition. Because that's what this person is mirroring back, perhaps. They're trying to figure out what intuition and where their intuition is leading them is feeling pretty safe. So take that as you will, but make the right decision for yourself right now, guys. Let this energy go. I love you. Let me know in the comments how this resonated or where you're at with this. And hopefully I will see you again. Bye, guys.